Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Toy Collector Review with me, Sergeant Geek. And today, while I was at Five and Below, I found a couple of more motorcycles to add to my collection. These are from the same company that I've been shopping from, Walmart, and I've been paying around $3, and now they're like $4 over at Five and Below. Cheaper packaging, but go figure. But they are three bikes that I haven't had in my collection, so we're gonna go through them. Take a look at this one. Now you can see it is a cheap card back packaging here, but the bike does look really nice in there. I think this is a Ninja. I'm not really sure. Doesn't really give us much information on the motorcycle inside. Just a lot of more product pushing from their other brands and other licenses that they hold of stuff they sell. We're not into the monster trucks that much, but we do like motorcycles here, so we're gonna pick up any motorcycles that we find that are different. As you can see here, hopefully the camera lets you see. It's a nice looking bike there. Not really sure what type it is. And then we have this bike here, same packaging. This here is a Yamaha. As you can see there, once we get a little bit more looking into the detail, we'll find out what model it is. And this one here, can't really tell. We're gonna wait. We'll have to wait till we get a closer look, get them out of the packaging, and take a look at these bikes here. But nevertheless, they do look really cool. And I am pretty excited to take a look at these, so let's go ahead. Let's crack these open. Now, I haven't seen any new motorcycles at Walmart or at Target, so these motorcycles here over at the Five and Below seems to be like a new way they're pushing the vehicles. I guess either Target or Walmart to stop purchasing them or whatever. But now they're showing up at Five and Below, which for me is pretty cool. Anyway, I do go around there looking for stuff and see what they got. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at this motorcycle here. Hopefully my camera will focus here. There we go. Looks really cool. It's got some carbon fiber looks. It is a Kawasaki. Very nicely done. This thing's got some amazing details to it. I'm not sure what type of motorcycle it is. We'll get into that a little bit later, but this thing does look really nice, the detail. Now, it does feel a lot lighter than the other motorcycles that I've purchased from this company. So they might be cheapening out on the material that they use, but nevertheless, they still haven't cheapened on the quality and detail to the bikes itself. The bikes do look amazing. Lots of detail to them. This thing looks awesome. I've never seen a bike like this out on the road. Not really sure what type it is. We'll look it up here in the next section and find out exactly what it's called. It is a Ninja, which is, I have seen Ninjas out, but I just never seen a Ninja like this one. And as always, the motorcycles do come with their little kickstands there. So let's put that one down. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the next bike here, which is the Yamaha. Let's go ahead and open this one up. Yeah, you can see it's the Yamaha. I can't really see what it is. But like I said, this company, like I said, they may have like cheapened up on the materials, but the detail of the first bike is really nice. Just as high quality as the bikes in my collection. So let's see if that continues on or if it's a fluke with this bike right here, which pretty much I think this is a ZLF Yamaha. Look, got the same quality, same detail, attention to detail as the first bike and as other bikes in my collection. So it does look really good. I like the way they got the detail on the dash there with the speedometer and the RPM gauge. These things look really cool. Now this one, they didn't go too far as to detail the chain, but there also are black chains out there on motorcycles. I've seen them online for sale for my bike as well, so I'm not going to doubt that too much. I do like the detail to the exhaust and everything. This thing is very nicely done. This is an R7. Can't really make out the rest of it there. And the camera wants to act up on me here. Good Lord. But nevertheless, it is very, very nicely done. Got like slight chrome here and there. Nice finish to the fairings. The correct position, I believe, for the lights there. Awesome looking. Not too much detail in the interior there, but like I said, I haven't seen this bike neither on the road. Haven't seen too many bikes. We're coming up to bike season, so hopefully here in Texas where I live, more people will be bringing out their bikes and I'll get to take a look at some more bikes. But let's go ahead and let's take a look at this one right here. I think this one is a Yamaha, not 100% sure. But we'll find out once I get it out of the package. So let's go ahead and pull this out. Get the packaging out the way. This one does look nice. For a minute, I thought it was a BMW when I first picked it up. It just gave me that BMW feeling. But once again, very nice detail on the cluster there. Nice detailing on the rims. I love that color blue on rims. I want to get a set of blue rims like that for my bike. Detail to the engine there, as you can see, even the cooling pipes and everything. Very nicely done. This one has a gold chain on it. And as always, they got the suspension in the front. I mean, the back. No real suspension on the front. I think it's difficult for these guys to do it, whatever the case may be. But, oh, we got some scruffers over here. Okay, we got a little damage to this bike, so I'm gonna have to look for another bike like this to get another one that doesn't have that damage. But it looks like there's been some damage, probably on the production line. But other than that damage, bike looks really nice. I love the air intake there. That thing looks really cool. This bike looks mean. It looks like it can do some serious speeds on the highway. You can see the radiator and the cooling system there. This bike looks vicious. Really cool. I love the way these bikes look. These are 3 great bikes to add to my collection. But like I said, we're going to have to get another one for that Yamaha because it does have some scuffle damage. But other than that, it looks fine. These are some great bikes, guys. And that's where we're going to end the video for today.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Star Trek USS Enterprise gift set with command chair, console, 3 telescreen cards, and 5 Star Trek action figures. Place Mr. Spock or any Star Trek figure into the transporter room. Spin the control knob and press the button. Mr. Spock disappears. Pretend he's left the deck of the Enterprise for outer space adventure. You can capture the Klingon and bring him back to the Enterprise. Star Trek USS Enterprise gift set. Star Trek action figures also sold separately by Mego.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Peter Griffin. Yeah, that Peter. The guy who once tried to race a lawnmower against a Harley. Spoiler alert, I lost. And also now legally can't go near Home Depot. Today I've hijacked Sergeant Geek's channel to talk about some sweet rides that even Stewie tried to shrink himself down for. We're talking about the Maisto 118 scale motorcycles, the Yamaha YZF-R7, the Kawasaki Ninja H2R, and the Yamaha MT-10. Let's dive in before Meg walks in and ruins everything. Ah, yes, the YZF-R7. Sleek, agile, and sexier than Lois in that leather catsuit. Don't ask. Maisto did a solid job on this one. The paint's got a nice gloss, the decals are crisp, and the fairings? Sharp enough to make Quagmire say giggity in 3 different languages. This one's a favorite for display because of its clean lines and sporty vibe. Real rubber tires, decent detail on the engine. This is a must-have if you're into Yamaha's racing lineage. Verorome? Verome. Yeah, that's the sound of me avoiding all responsibilities. Now this baby, the H2R, it's basically a rocket ship disguised as a motorcycle. Like if Batman had a midlife crisis and got into track racing, this is what he'd ride. The detail is chef's kiss. That matte black paint, the turbine-inspired lines, and the exhaust pipe that looks like it could blow a hole in the space-time continuum. Great sculpt, sharp tail fairing, and the Maisto scaling on this one really captures the aggressive posture of the real H2R. It's not just a toy, it's a tiny monster. If this thing was street legal, I'd use it to outrun all my bad decisions. And maybe Joe. Ah, the MT-10 looks like a robot and rides like a beast. This one's got that naked bike style. No fairings, just muscle and madness. Maisto nailed the engine block and chassis details. It's got that aggressive Street Fighter look. Would have loved some tighter handlebar detail, but hey, if I wanted perfection, I wouldn't have married Lois. This one displays great next to sportier bikes for contrast. Plus, it's solid enough that Stewie tried to ride it into battle against Elmo. Don't ask. All right, so we launch the H2R off this ramp, it goes through the flaming hoop, lands in Lois's soup, and boom, YouTube roll.
Peter, I'm not certain you've considered the ramifications of igniting a plastic motorcycle indoors, or the possibility of Lois bludgeoning you with a soup ladle.
That's why I wore her bathrobe. It's fire retardant, I think. Probably. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, what the hell, Dad?
It was Stewie's idea.
You absolute man-child.
Peter, is that my bathrobe? And my ladle? Why does Meg have a toy tire mark on her forehead?
And this is the part where I run. So look, if you're building out a 1/18 scale collection and you like your bikes like you like your coffee, fast, black, and possibly dangerous, these Maisto bikes are a solid pick. Affordable, detailed, and ready to rip. Also, they won't complain when you leave them in a display case for 6 months. Unlike Brian, he still won't talk to me after I park the Prius in his doghouse. Anyway, that's where I'll end the video for today. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe before Lois finds out I've been using her hairdryer to dust the shelf.